Welcome to the Journey to Esquire, the podcast alumni updates. I am your host, Abigail Dean. In this series, we take a walk down memory lane as we reconnect with the remarkable alumni of the Journey to Esquire Scholarship and Leadership Program. Join me as we embark on a journey to discover where are they now? Amidst all the challenges and uncertainties, a group of determined individuals stepped into the Journey to Esquire Scholarship and Leadership Program, ready to seize their dreams of becoming legal professionals. Fast forward today, and it's time to catch up, to witness their journeys, celebrate their achievements, and gain insights into the valuable lessons they carry forward from the program. So, what's in store for this podcast series? Well, get ready to be inspired, intrigued, and enlightened. In each episode, I'll be sitting down with a remarkable alumnus or alumni, the trailblazers who embarked on their journeys to become legal professionals. We'll dive into their experiences, challenges, and triumphs, and explore how their participation in the Journey to Esquire program has played a pivotal role in shaping their paths. We'll reminisce about the highlights, uncover the pivotal moments, and get an inside look into their lives today. From courtroom victories to personal growth, from mentorship to forging lasting connections, these alumni have stories that resonate with all of us. Through their tales, we gain a greater understanding of the impact of education, scholarship, and leadership on their journeys. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Journey to Esquire podcast. Today, we have a special guest. Her name is Leah Lavelle. I know Leah all the way back from law school. I met, I believe it was in my 3L year while going at Stetson. And so I remember getting to know her back then, and I'm honored to have her on this podcast. Welcome, Leah. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me, Abigail. I am doing much better because, as I briefly mentioned to you, we just got back the July 2023 bar results, and I was on the passing list. So I'm doing great. Thank you.
So you graduated from Journey to Esquire program in 2022. That's correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you walk us through how your legal career has evolved since graduating from the program and also graduating from law school?
Yeah, so I graduated May 2022, took the July 2022 bar, passed just the Florida portion, and then I ended up in between. Well, I guess let me back up from that, because we all know that there's such a long wait between, taking the test and finding out about the results. So in the meantime, I actually ended up getting my mediator certification. And so from there, I just worked really hard to do the requirements for that, and then found out I passed the Florida portion of the exam, and then pretty much spent the rest of the year working on my mediation business and started doing some mediations, and then took the February 2023 exam. Well, let me back up again from that. I started working as a law clerk at a law firm that January, and then took the February 2023 exam, and unfortunately did not pass that. And then now I just passed the July 2023 exam. So that is, in a shell, what I've been up to since graduation / Journey to Esquire program.
So mediation, that is an interesting field to go into. What inspired you to go into mediation?
I was a part of the dispute resolution board at Stetson, and I really enjoyed competing and helping my classmates in their competitions. And I just kind of decided, most attorneys, I noticed they'll become an attorney and then become a mediator for some free time. But I kind of did the other way around where I was like, no, like I have
Hmm.
all this time on my hands because,
Yeah.
it's not like I can work or anything because I'm waiting for the bar results. So why don't I just like, bust my butt to do the requirements now and then get, the attorney certification. Yeah, I'm really glad I did that because a lot of people try to do it, like I said, later in life, and you're too busy because you have to sit down and take the class and do the observations. And doing that later in life is a lot harder. So, yeah, that's how I got into the mediations.
So in terms of the mediation, are you going to utilize it in your career as an attorney, or is it something that this is what you fully want to focus on for your career as an attorney?
Absolutely. I'm going to kind of do both. So, I definitely want to continue to do mediations as well as practice as an attorney, but kind of I would prefer to limit my practicing into like
Mhm.
just, either mediations or the alternative dispute resolution. As of right now, I don't really have a huge interest in being a trial attorney or anything like that. So I definitely plan on using those skills to utilize them in my practicing attorney now that I have that.
Is there any specific law that you want to specialize in?
Yes, I would like to focus on trust and estate law.
Okay. And what inspires you to choose that area of law?
So I think for me, just I saw a really kind of, I guess, family ended up essentially just fighting over assets and everything like that once there were some deaths in the family, and just seeing like the importance of having the correct documents and legal, things in place, how important that is, because you end up spending tens of twenties, thirties, and thousands of dollars
Yes.
if you don't have that in place. And what I've come to realize is, and you probably, might see this in your own family too, is that especially people of color or
Mm.
Black families in particular, we don't tend to have the end of life in place. So, and that could save a lot of money that we're already as a, you know, race having to work, behind other races with generational wealth. So having that in place could save a lot of
Mhm.
money. I think for me, like if I can be that attorney to spread the word and really emphasize the importance of having wills and trusts in place. And you don't even have to have, I think a lot of people think like, oh, okay, I'm not a millionaire or whatever. Like, I don't need that. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, if you have a house, like, imagine if just having a house and being able to leave that to your family without it being taken by the bank or attorneys or all the other type of drama that could happen, like that right there does so much generationally. So that was my inspiration of wanting to do that area of law.
Well, that is amazing. And I definitely agree with you that even from my own family, I've seen it where it's just not as valued. People don't see the value in it. And I think also as well, I think people don't know to value it. They just don't know. They don't have the knowledge about the area of trust in the States. Even my own parents, I called my mom the other day and was like, "Do y'all have a will?" She was like, "No." Now this is a family who they have multiple businesses. They have, several things that they have, and it's just like as you said, if they don't have things in place, it's going to be split. Like, and so I love the fact that you are taking on that role of, I need to be into place to educate individuals. That's amazing. So, Journey to Esquire program, you mentioned earlier that you graduated within 2022. Well, you mentioned to me earlier before this podcast.
Yes.
So, what were some of the lessons that you've learned from this program? that you take through that has basically assisted you in your journey to becoming an attorney?
So, something that I really appreciated from the program was just for example, the speakers that we had. It was such a diverse group of people in terms of background, in terms of area of laws, in terms of age, in terms of experience level, and just seeing and hearing from all of those different attorneys and their stories and what they practice and how they studied for the bar, how they wrote their resume, or how they got to the job that they had. I really appreciated that because, especially being a COVID student, one of the classes, well, I guess the only class that pretty much had the whole law school except for like maybe 2 semesters online. Being a part of Journey to Esquire was like my main source of being able to really get the law school experience that I didn't really get to get from law school. And Jocelyn, like, she knows everybody, and it's amazing because she literally, like I mentioned, brought all types of people on there, and it just made it like I appreciated that, just hearing those different aspects.
They definitely look. I do love that about the program is that they bring in so many different people, with many different experiences to make connections, to have the ability to network with these individuals. But when you hear stories of people who look like you feel inspired to go out and make your own, just go on your own journey as an attorney to make an impact. Uh, and so, in terms of your career, have you encountered any form of notable challenges or obstacles in your legal career? And can you talk about how did you overcome those things?
I would honestly consider me getting through the bar my biggest obstacle in my legal career so far, just because it's one of those things like the first time I took it, it's like, all right, I'm looking at the opening the computer, I'm like, oh, I know I passed. And then it's like, oh, not quite. And then the second time around when I took it, I was like, no, I definitely passed because it was my second time taking it. So like, of course I passed. And then it was like, oof. And that hurt. It was like, do I really want to do this? Because, and we all know
Yeah.
that you only have 2 times a year to do this. So I think after that second time, really just locking in, and really, if I can look back to how I got it done this last time, mindset, because you just can't, think about the negatives when it comes, because I think we in this profession we get so like overwhelmed because
Mhm.
of the amount of information we're constantly learning, and we're always reading new things, and it's just very overstimulating. So I think that definitely passing the bar was my biggest obstacle so far. But what I can say is moving forward, I will definitely remember that experience. And I think that will make me a better person in my legal career because obviously I know I'm going to come across obstacles again. But just keeping in mind the focus and the mindset that I had this last time of studying for the bar is definitely going to help me as an attorney now.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for someone who's gone through that same experience? Because as you said, taking the bar, it's definitely a mentally exhausting. That's the thing. It's mentally exhausting to go through that process and I would imagine even with your journey having to, look at it, believing that you passed, then to look and feel defeated, and then having to then kind of find the strength to, go back and study again and try it again? Do you have any advice to someone who's gone through what you've gone through? Yeah, just in general, do you have any advice?
Yes, literally. And I know this is cliche, but do not give up because in the end, like it will be worth it. Even if someone like doesn't want to necessarily work at a law firm and practice as an attorney every single day, like you never know what you might could use that for. And you could, you know, end up really helping somebody. Like even if it's just one case where you're just like, it's this case that gets someone out of jail. I don't know. Like you never know. So it's like just thinking about like, okay, just getting through it and just it's very temporary. That's another thing. Like I know obviously 2 times a year seems like a long time, but it's still temporary even within that. Like most of the time out of that is waiting for the actual results.
Yeah,
So literally just not giving up, maintaining a positive mindset, which again, I know cliche, but it makes all the difference in the world. And just, sitting down and thinking about why you went to law school, why you're taking the bar in the first place. Because obviously, like, we all have a reason for wanting to go to law school, wanting to become an attorney, or wanting to take the bar. And just sitting down and reflecting on that because I think that, sometimes we take for granted how blessed we all really are. And something I like to say is as long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. So,
yeah,
with that, just, staying true to yourself and not giving up. That's my advice.
yeah, that's amazing. That reminds me of a conversation I had with someone the other day. I was telling them about the fact that, about my law school journey and all of those things. And they were like, how'd you get through all that? How do you go through law school? How do you get the bar exam? Like, how do you get through all of that? And I said, you have to want to be an attorney. Like, that literally has to be your focus, where no matter what it takes, you just do it. Like, I remember
Mhm.
even thinking back because that in that same conversation, she had a daughter who was in law school and she didn't want to be an attorney. And I was like, I don't know, but I don't know if she's going to get very far. I don't know if she was doing that because her parents wanted her to. I was like, this journey is a long journey. It can be a long journey for the only reason you to be an attorney is just for your parents to be you. I was like, I don't know if she's gonna get very far. I mean, she possibly could, but when you're in law school, and you're in that first semester, and you're like, what the heck is this? I, and you're lost, and you're trying to figure out what is going on. That keep your eyes on the prize. Oh, I'm gonna be an attorney. You know, even when you're taking the
Mhm.
bar exam and you go through that process, and right, and since as some people are just like you, where they're like, man, I didn't get it the first time. Well, I didn't get it the second time. Or I didn't get it the third time. Like keeping your eyes on the prize is definitely something that will keep you and will give you the strength to keep going. And it's like, why? Why? Remember your reason why. I want to become an attorney because, and a lot of our reasons is to help our families and to help those that are around us. And so when you keep your eyes on the prize, it makes it, I won't say easier, but it gives you the strength to keep pushing forward. So um, I love the advice that you've given in terms of so we're getting ready to enter our next journey to Esquire Scholars very soon and getting ready to embark on that journey. Do you have any advice for these students and these scholars as they enter into this program?
Yes, definitely. Oh, one thing that I did my last year of law school, especially because I mentioned, it was pretty much online. But even with that aside, I think it's important to add everyone on LinkedIn who either was a speaker at something that you attended, or at a networking event that you attended, someone you met there, and just, sending them a message on LinkedIn saying, hey, thanks for speaking to my class today, or nice meeting you, just so that you can start building that network. Because once law school ends, it's important to maintain a network of attorneys, because you never know, what it would turn into. So I think my number one advice is LinkedIn. Add everyone you run into, connect with as many people as possible, and just really focus on networking.
Yeah, that's absolutely great advice. I remember the jobs that I've gotten so far is because of the people that I connected with in law school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, absolutely. I think that's also very unique advice, because I've not heard someone we've said networking on the podcast, but it's great that you're saying, well, these are some of the ways that you can network, just connecting via LinkedIn. But yes, thank you so much for coming. Is there anything that you want to let the people know? What's going on in your life, you can let them know, give them, you can also advertise your mediation business right now.
Yes. Shout out to my mama. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but yes, mediation, Level Up Mediation is the name of it. And it should pop up on Google, but
Okay.
I'll put it in the notes. So mediation, yeah, if anyone wants to ask me any questions about mediation, or talk about trust and estates, because that's what I'm focusing on. Yeah, that's what I'm on right now, is mediation, trust and estates, working on that. But
Oh.
yeah.
Is there any specific, so they want to contact you, they just go through the Level Up Mediation website?
Yeah, or just I'll give my email address. It's super
Okay.
easy. It's just my first name, last name at gmail.com. So leahlevell at gmail.com.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll definitely add it to the podcast notes. So that anybody want to contact you, they can do so as well. But thank you so much for coming. It was so wonderful having to catch up with you and see how far you come in your career. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Abigail.
This is Journeys to Esquire, the podcast alumni updates. I'm Abigail Dean, and remember, the journey continues and success is just around the corner.